afternoon, everyone.
Myself
Myself,
Kapil
Kapil
Chand.
Chand.
I
I
am
am
a
a
PhD
PhD
scholar
scholar
at
at
IIT
IIT
ISM
Hyderabad.
Darbhanga. I
I
am
am
currently
currently
pursuing my
pursuing my
doctoral
doctoral
study.
study in mining engineering department. I am focusing on the numerical modeling for slope stability analysis and geotechnical investigation and machine learning approaches for slope stability prediction and UAV technology used for the failure zone identification. Today I am, today I am here to present my conference paper titled Mine Internal Dump Slope Stability and Failure Zone Identification using 3D Modeling. Thus, the stability of dump slope with heightening is a challenging task for the mining engineers, and the unplanned dumping is the main reason of failure. So in this study, I am focusing on the failure zone identification and the dump slope stability analysis. Introduction. In India, major coal production from the open cast mining and the 96% coal production from the open cast mining, and this mining method is generate a large volume of overburden material in the mine area, and this material will accommodate in the form of the internal and the external dump. In the past, in the recent past, many dump slope failure events have occurred and resulting the loss of human lives, mine machinery, and it's also the region of the production hampering, and sometimes the damage the hallway. So, so, so in this study we are focusing on the dump slope stability analysis using 3D modeling so that we can identify the failure zone and the stability of the dump slope. Methodology. In this study we are focused on the three parts. First part in the data collection from the dump site, and second part in the failure zone identification using 3D modeling, and the third part in the suggesting a mitigation approach for the failure zone. Next. In the methodology part, we are mainly focused on the data collection because data collection is very important for the slope stability analysis. So data collection divided in the three parts. First part is the dump material data. This data is tested in the laboratory according to the international standard so that we can identify the material property and the density of the dump material. The second part in data collection we are collecting a drone image data for the dump 3D reconstruction so that we can actual and realistic model construct with proper image scaling, and we analyze the critical zone in the mine dump. And the third part, we are using image processing software, Cloud Pix4D and the Cloud Compare. We are reconstruct a 3D structure, and this 3D reconstruct will be in the form of digital elevation model, and this digital elevation model will import in the Flag 3D numerical modeling softwares for the stability analysis. Next. Sorry. This is the dump. This is the mine internal dump. Basically, this study is conducted in the Sonpur Bajari mine, and in this study, the total area of OB is 0.6 kilometer square, and the stability analysis for we are using a Slide 3D software. It is the product of the rock science, and for the stability analysis we are using a Mohr column failure criteria, and the stability analysis for we are using a popular LEM approaches Bishop, Spencer, and Jambu, and this result is the static condition. Next. And the slope stability is also affected by the dynamic loading and the earthquake condition. So in this study we are using a pseudo-static analysis because our study area is lie in the earthquake zone second. So in this numerical model we are assign a horizontal seismic coefficient for the stability analysis. For the critical zone stability analysis, in this investigation, we are cut a model in the multiple slices for the detailed stability analysis, and in the result in the shown in the table. And for every section stability analysis for using a Slide 2D software and the Bishop, Spencer, and Jambu method used. Next. This is our stabilization approach for the dump stabilization. In this stabilization approach, we are only focused on the bench width. In this result, we observed the bench width is increasing, the dump slope stability is increasing, and the bench width is decreasing, the dump slope stability is decreasing. Next. This is the suggested optimum parameter geometry for the internal dump. In this parameter, we are only focusing on the bench width, and the slope angle is 38 degree, and the bench height is 30 meter. Next. This is the final result of before in the present condition and after implementing the optimum parameter for the stable slope. Next. Discussion. This investigation will be helpful for the mining industry for the mine slope stability and failure zone analysis and its stability analysis. And this investigation will be also be helpful for the landslide and man-made slope stability analysis. And this study is a cheaper compared to the other stability analysis method, SSR and the TLS. Next. Conclusion. The dump slope stability depends on the geometry and the strengthening parameter. And the 2D numeric modeling will be helpful for the designing purpose, but the failure zone analysis, we are using the 3D numerical modeling. Next. This work is supported by the Science and Research Engineering Board. Next. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kunal. Now, our next author is Results on Slope Stability, Study of Western Ovidum of Lovichova site using the scope of applicability of high well mining technology in Indian coal seams with a special emphasis on thick combined seams of BCCL which presents socio-technological.
Good afternoon, everyone, and my salutations to this August gathering, who is patiently waiting for our presentations. और यहाँ उपस्थित सभी ज्ञानानुरागियों को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। तो हमारा जो टॉपिक है स्कोप ऑफ एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ हाई वॉल माइनिंग टेक्नोलॉजी इन इंडियन कोल सीम्स विथ स्पेशल एम्फेसिस ऑन थिक ऑफ द कंबाइंड सीम्स ऑफ भारत कोकिंग कोल लिमिटेड विच प्रेजेंट सोशियो टेक्निकल सिनेरियो especially related to high wall mining. And author of this paper, myself Chitranjan Kumar, Area General Manager Block 2 Area BCCL, Tribhuvan Singh Chauhan, Chief Manager Mining Block 2 Area, and Abhijit Pal, who is Deputy Manager Mining in BCCL in Area 1. And this is the slide which is explaining about the methods of mining, surface mining and underground mining. Surface mining had been categorized in 3 categories: strip mining, slice mining, horizon mining, and underground mining in board and pillar, and log wall mining. And this slide is related to that. Next. Final high wall mining is done where there is problem related to especially land, which is most scarce resources mining industry, and Coal India is also thinking about the application of this high wall mining in different subsidiaries of Coal India, only due to the mainly reason of land acquisition. Wherever there is land is available and there is habitation over that land, or village is very near to that, we are unable to do underground or open cast mining. At that place, we are opting for high wall mining, and I think 6 to 7 projects have already been awarded in this mode. Next. Actually, all of you might be knowing about the high wall mining. There is a cutter head which goes inside the coal seam up to distance up to 50 meter to 300 meter. That may be longer also. But as far as machinery of this high wall mining is concerned, cutter head, width of cutter head has been fixed as 3.5 meter. Mainly, the most of the machines which are being supplied is being manufactured by Genwell, and width of that cutter motor is 3.5 meter. And you can increase your height up to 4.5 or 5 meter. That depends on the thickness of coal seam. But width of the cutter head is fixed, and there is arrangement of sensor in that cutter head which senses the alignment of the gallery, so that web pillars means pillar between two galleries, there should be alignment, and width should be constant throughout the extraction of coal. Otherwise, there may be a chance of collapse in that phase. So many sensors are fitted in the cutter head. Sensor for measurement of hardness, maybe you can encounter any dike or sail. In that case, that sensor will sense, and after that you can maneuver over your action, and after that cutter head movement of cutter head can be restricted, or that can be organized as per the hardness of the rock. Potential for improving mining safety and health. In the high wall mining operation, only the continuous miner and the push beam conveyor system go underground, while the miners and other mining and haulage equipment are on the surface. Therefore, the miners are not exposed to common safety hazards associated with underground mining operations, such as roof and rip fall, because men are not going inside the gallery. So roof and rip, if there is chance of roof or rip fall, there is safety. Hazards with mobile mining equipment, because manless mining is there, because inside the gallery no one is going. Mine fires and explosion. In case of mine fire and explosion also, there is more safety compared to underground mining. Exposure to coal dust that causes coal miners pneumoconiosis and other things, that is also restricted up to a greater extent and substantially that is restricted. Production optimization in thick seam, multiple seam mining, especially in BCCL, combined seam thickness of the combined seam is 24 meter to 28 meter in different mines. Actually, high wall mining is being deployed in different seams of Coal India Limited, but in most of the seams, you will see that thickness of the seam is 2 meter to 4 meter or 4.5 or 5 meter. We have seen in West Bokaro, in Bokaro Steel, Tata Steel mine, there they have extracted more than 8 meter. Actually, they have extracted roof. After that, they have gone down. After that, again they have cut, and total, if you will measure the total height of the galleries, that is more than 8 meter. That depends on the factor of safety of the pillars. And this is the main question. Actually, this is not a research paper. Actually, we are throwing some questions. We are throwing some ideas to research organizations like IIT, ISM, professors from IIT, ISM are here, IIT Kharagpur, IIT BHU, and SIMFER. Actually, this is the idea how this high wall mining can be more profitable, more safe, so that its applicability in different conditions can be substantially increased, so that we can go for high wall mining in different conditions. And especially how we can extract thick seam by application of this high wall mining. This is the main question. Next. Actually, at most of the places except Tata Steel, single coal has been extracted in single layer. In Tata Steel also, multi-level mining has not been done. In case of 24, 25 or 30 meter seam, how this can be done? This is the question. How many layers should be there for extraction? There will be a stowing or without a stowing. These are the question, and how factor of safety of the pillars will be calculated in these conditions. This is a very important question for which we are presenting this paper. Next. This is the formula given by Simpher. Stress of wave pillar and vertical stress is calculated by this formula, and strength of pillar is calculated by applying this formula. Factor of safety of pillar is calculated. Next, in different papers related to high wall mining presented by DGMS and different academia, we have seen that if the factor of safety of any pillar is more than 1.5, that is considered as safe for the purpose of high wall mining. So we are considering this 1.5 factor of safety, and considering this, we are going for the further advancement for this paper. You can see in this chart, the width of the gallery means width of the cutter head is constant, that is 3.5 meter. Width of the wave pillar is increasing, and with increase of width of wave pillar, strength of pillar is also increasing. You can see in this chart, and load on pillar in megapascal is decreasing from up to down, and factor of safety, you can see that is also increasing. It means for a seam, if you go further down, depth will increase, then factor of safety, one parameter is factor of safety will decrease. You can see by this also, factor of safety, upper line, that is increasing. Width of the wave pillar, if the increase of width of wave pillar, factor of safety is increasing, and if you will increase the width of the gallery, if you will increase the size of cutter head, that has not been considered. That is
your time is already over.
next.
Finish it up as a
And different scenarios in high wall mining. This is also for 4.5 meter thickness seam we have calculated, considering factor of safety 1.5. What will be the percentage of extraction? And that comes, percentage of extraction is decreasing, 57, 52, 48, 45 for this 4.5 meter seam. And for next, for thick seam which is more than or about 25 meter, for that we have considered depth cover 50, 60, 70, and in different conditions this has been calculated, factor of safety, and percentage of extraction has also been calculated. And come to previous slide. Percentage of extraction has also been calculated, and percentage of extraction, you can see that if there are 2 lifts and there are 3 lifts, in that condition that has been shown that what will be the percentage of extraction of the coal. Next. And the same, the nature of the graph, how that will increase or decrease depending on the depth and depending on the width of wave pillar, that has been shown. Next. And this is a scenario of case study in thick seam mining, how you will go for stowing or not stowing. And if you will go for stowing, आप कैसे उसका स्टोइंग करेंगे, किस तरह से करेंगे? अगर कटर हेड भीतर में है तो औगार सिस्टम से अगर कोयला निकलता है तो कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं, उस औगार को आप अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में घुमाइए, रिवर्स घुमाइए, जिससे कि बाहर से कोई स्टोइंग मटेरियल को अंदर डाल दिया जाए या कोई फोम उसमें डाल दे. तो इस तरह से उसको देखने की ज़रूरत है, इसको साइंटिफिक एजेंसी करेंगे. नेक्स्ट. द सेम हैज बीन शोन, सेम ग्राफ, and this is the without paste filling, what are the advantage, disadvantage of with paste filling. This has been shown, and conclusion is that in that case we should go for high wall mining. It is a very good system, safe system, and these academia and the scientific agencies are required to go for further studies and further research so that it can be made more feasible in present days. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chittaranjan. Now it is our coal logistics solutions, safe, eco-friendly and efficient, from Volvo Trucks.
Good afternoon. My name is Ashirwad Oja from Volvo Trucks. We are going to present since morning we have been hearing that we need to move towards sustainable mining and also the digitalization. So we are going to present paper on, especially on coal transport logistic solutions. Like increase in demand for coal will continuously pressurize a coal evacuation system. Efficient and cost-effective evacuation systems should be adopted for affordable energy requirement of the country. There is a need to adopt and implement technology which are fuel efficient, safer, environment friendly for coal logistics from pit to surface, first mile connectivity, on-road transportation, last mile connectivity to reduce the dependence on railways. This paper will focus on the need for the standardization and capacity upgradation of coal logistics in all sectors, prioritizing safety, environment protection while keeping in mind cost effectiveness of that solutions. It will also address the following problems and statements. One is minimizing the specific fuel consumption and exploring alternate sources, comprehensive environment management framework, cost-effective roadmap to achieve net zero emissions, effective measures for dust suppressions, MDO mode for sustained coal production and ensure profitability, operational efficiency for productivity enhancements. So I'll now expect that, please put up the presentation. So this is the total all Volvo product solutions available in India for mining in various places. All are working together. Next. This is the footprints. What are the places Volvo trucks are operating all across India? It is mostly in all across almost all the mines. It is available, and as on date, it is doing around 950 million cubic meter of OB and approximately 171 million tons of coal as on date as we speak. Next. These are the various features, active and safety features. You know, like active features is which prevents any accident, and passive is once accident happens, it reduces minimizes the fatalities. Like the most important cargo on a truck is a human life. So various features are fitted on the vehicle which prevents fall. Thanks. Next. This we spoke that this is 33 cubic meter our coal body tipper which is there, which is highest in capacity in pit to surface application truck what we provide. And also we have fitted, there are various features fitted in it, especially to suit this kind of application. Like that is one inclinometer, which is prevents while reversing the truck, if the haul load is or the dumping site is not properly, the body will not lift, it will hold it. Next. There are, as you see the red color safety features, I don't know how much you know, these seat belts were invented by Volvo trucks. So there are our basic focus is on safety compliance, and whatever we do, we believe in it should be safe application for everybody. So there are various kinds of features are fitted which prevents that active and safety safety compliance all across operations. Next. These are the various various features are standard on all our vehicles. There are few items which are optional. The same if it is mentioned in the document or the project or DPR, we can definitely supply at additional cost. Next. So it's not a product. What we do hand holding, pre and post sales. Whenever vehicle goes to our customers, we handle them with various initiatives we have taken, like we give a site advisory, what you should do, what you should not do, do's and don'ts of site advisory. And then regularly we provide training to our drivers or operators so that better fuel efficiency can be derived out of my products. And also that uptime care, which I'll explain in next slides. Next. These are the various initiatives we have taken to train project affected people. This photographs, what you see, it is from NCL only. We had organized a driver training program. Almost around 80 drivers were trained. Those were affected by PAP. And similar kind of activities we are doing in other subsidiaries as well in SECL and also in NTPC mines, captive mines. Next. These are the various USPs of the product. Maybe you may be feeling that this is a product presentation, but this is the technology which can, if it can be adopted, we can move towards sustainable mining for future and also the cost effectiveness. Thank you. Next. These are the potential saving which we are talking about: 35-ton dumper or 60-ton dumper or 100-ton dumper or a value truck, mass market truck, which is commonly found in coal projects for coal evacuations. Next. Also, like we are also following the lines of what Coal India or MOC thinks, like the coal should not touch the ground. So similarly, we are also developing products so that it can be the coal can be delivered through CHP to the end customer without dropping it or re-handling it on the ground. And also, I heard in the morning we need to develop. We are also developing this. This road trains concept, which we are trying to bring, which will need dedicated mineral corridors, where I understand the NCL is developing. But on this type of application, in one load, you can carry or you can transport around 100 to 150 tons per trip load. Similarly, I think in the morning also somebody was mentioning in Australia it is being used. So this kind of operations, this kind of products we are trying to bring it to India. Next. This is also one of the biggest concern while we are transporting this we have observed that these are the problems we have faced, that coal dust is spreading and because of that they need coal cover. We have the solutions ready. If required, we can supply along with the vehicles. Next. This is a very important thing. Like for example, I'm giving that we have visited one site, one project where I mentioned that our vehicles are compliant to latest pollution norms. So they mentioned that कि sir यहाँ पे तो pollution ऐसे ही होता है बहुत ज़्यादा, इससे क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? But a small bit of change also can reduce. Like what you have also have a target that CO2 emissions we have to reduce. We need to move towards this. Next. The other various new transport solutions which we are working, gas-powered, road train, I explained, electric trucks, that yet to come, but we are working on it. Next. These are the digital uptime care, what we are talking in the morning. Mr. Agarwal also visited, we explained to him. This is the way how we can move forward from mechanical operations to digital operations. Next. These are various initiatives we have taken to support our products and customers. Thanks. Next. They are the various, this is how we support our complete solutions across India. These are the development of that. Now I'll call my co-author, Mr. Amlesh, to give you some more environment care products and conclude. Thanks.
Just 1 minute, please. Please finish it up in that. Okay.
Good afternoon to everybody. Time is my biggest enemy, I can understand. We had been talking about the need for standardization of coal trucks. From where did the concept come? We have seen thousands of smaller trucks without any standards or safety features. They are plying inside the coal mines where highest level of safety is being maintained by the departmentals. So we are actually jeopardizing the entire effort of safety inside the mines if we allow this smaller variety of equipments without any safety, emission norms, and capacity to ply inside mines. When we talk about coal transportation, dust is a must. So we cannot do away with it, but we can certainly do certain activities which can curb this particular problem. So this particular machine that is there on the screen is truly a mist type water sprinkler. Why mist type water sprinkler? First of all, we save water. Water of about 30% of water we save. And it is on a highly efficient machine, fuel efficient machine. Suppose we normally spend about 22 to 23 liters in a normal conventional water sprinkler. And this water sprinkler can work per hourly basis on 9 to 11 liters. So it is, first of all, it is capturing the fugitive dust in the air. The same water we are utilizing to wet the ground surface without creating any slush or muck inside the mines, therefore increasing safety. And the third one, you can see on the right hand side, what is the environment is we are Euro 6, then water resource saving is 25%, diesel we are saving is 35 to 40%, And there are so much of coal that is being burnt, which is being stacked, which can be addressed to that. We don't know what is that amount. Maybe Coal India will be able to say. And then if we have a urgent firefighting in the workshops or any colonies, if this particular machine can rush and it can also save so many lives. And coming it is on and off. We know that water sprinklers doesn't work for the entire shift. So this same water sprinkler, after walking deep inside mines, can get outside to the colonies or coal carrying corridors where the hazards can be reduced. Then it is fitted with all the DGMS components that we are supposed to do. And yes, even in the rainy season, it is, we can say, in the rainy season, it can also clear the muck in the drainage areas. You can also go for the servicing of the heavy earth moving equipments without getting it in the workshops. Next innovative solution, which again is in-house development, is tree transplanter. In tree transplanter, we say that we always believe that planting of shrubs or seedlings cannot compensate the loss in the environment that we make while propagating mines, cutting huge amount of trees. And research says that mid-sized trees, the longevity and the life is much better. So we have developed this mid-sized tree transplanter, which is working inside mines. To sum up all this, we are talking about coal, we are talking about diesel consumption, we are talking about net carbon emission, net zero carbon emission. We are talking about lesser fuel being carried by higher price diesel. Our coal transport solution can eradicate all these problems. Like for Volvo buses, we say that we have changed the bus traveling in India. Similarly, all those things which we know about coal transportation by road, the negative points, we can eradicate. By the process, if we can save Coal India 75 to 1 rupee per ton per kilometer, I think we'll do a great job for our nation, for our country. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Now our next presentation is for haul road dust reduction using hydrolyzed polymer acrylamide.
Good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. Atmaram Sahu, PhD from IIT BHU, and presently working as an assistant professor in Godavari Institute of Engineering and Technology, Rajahmundry. So today we have to present my topics. First we give the introductions. In the India, total 95% of the coal production is done by the open cast mining, and the remaining is the underground mining. This why we have to choose in the open cast mining, because of the high production rate and comfort mining environment. Next. So in the open cast mining, there is one of the major problem in the environmental pollutions due to the generations of dust. So there is the various source of the dust generations, like in the drilling, blasting, transportation, crushing, and another activities. Next. So in the some of the research work, we have to observe that 80% of the dust generated only due to the haul road, due to the moving of dumper. Approximately 78 to 97%. Next. Next. So the generations of dust can reduce the visibility, increasing the accident rate, and increasing in the cost of production. So how to control the generations of dust? There is the various techniques are available. Next. There is the 4 different techniques. First one is the administrative method, second one is the mechanical method, third one is the water spraying, and fourth one is the chemical method. So first one is the administrative method. In this method, we have to limit the speed of the vehicle, or reducing the loading of the dumper, are reducing the limiting the intensity of the vehicle movement, but in this method reducing the targeted productions. So this one is not more preferable. So we are going for the next mechanical method. Next slide. So in this method we have to construct the permanent road, but it is not possible for the all types because of the some of the haul road having the semi-permanent and some of the permanent, but everywhere we not construct the permanent haul road. So this one method is also not applicable. Third one, water spraying. This one is most commonly used in the mining industry to spray the water to control the dust. But there is the limitations in the summer season, because in the when the temperature is very high, in that conditions the water consumption is more, and the spraying of water in every day approximately 7 to 8 times are required. So this next. So used in the chemical mixed with the water that can reduce the emissions of dust by increasing the moisture sustain. So there is three different types of the chemicals are available: calcium chloride, lignosulfate, and polymer. First two, this one is the cause in the soil erosions, and that's why we are not used in the mining industries. So now we have to go for the polymer. So different types of the polymers are available that can mix with the water and can increase the moisture sustain of the dust. Next. Why we have used in the polymer? Because in the this one is the highly effective, biodegradable, environmental friendly, and chemical dust separations that can increase in the moisture sustain capability of the soil. Next, experimental method. We have to do the experiment. We are collect the sample from the Dhanbad mines. This one is the process to making the hydrolysis polyacromide polymer. Next, this one is the methodology. How to do? We have to take in the 500 gram of the dust water sample and mixing with the 10 mg of the polymer. We have to test in the three different temperature at 25 degrees Celsius, 35 degrees Celsius, and 45 degrees Celsius in different hours. For example, we have to measure in the after 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 8 to 8 hours. Next, this one is the reducing the weight and how much moisture they can be sustained. We have to observe that. So in the graph. Next, this one when only we have used in the water. This one is the moisture content and time durations. We have to measure in the total moisture content. At the 8 hour, after 8 hours, there is the moisture content near to the 0. This one when we have used in the polymer mixed with the water, then the performance will be increased. Next slide. So this one is the when we have used in the polymer mixed with the water, the moisture sustaining capability of the soil will be increased. Next, this one is the comparative study when we have used in the simple water and when we have used in the polymer. So this one improve the reduce the generations of dust in the mine area. This one is the conclusion. When this one increase in the moisture sustaining capability is the 13.62% as compared to the water used in the mining industries. So we have to publish in the 4 paper in this topic in the reputed journal, and using the different polymers. I will only present in the one polymer in here. So next work is to perform in the case study. If they will give the permissions, then definitely we have to do the experiment in the real life.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Our last presentation of this session is results on slope stability study of Western dump, OB dump of Dodi Chuva site using indigenously developed GB in SAR data. It will be presented through virtual mode.
So good afternoon to one and all present here. So I am here to give a presentation on a topic, results on slope stability study of Western OB dump of Dudichua site using indigenously developed GB-INSAR data on behalf of all the authors. So one of the major causes for mortalities in mining operations is the slope stability accidents. So the unexpected movement of the slopes can cause danger to human lives as well as it causes destructions to equipments and properties. And we need a robust system to give a yearly warning about such unexpected events. But worldwide, there are very minimal amount of such systems are available in the market. But in India, there are no such pre-warning systems yet developed indigenously for prior identifications of such failures. And this GB-INSAR developed by SAMI, CMPDI and CSRE is the first indigenously developed system which is recognized as a very powerful tool for monitoring the movement of structures due to its level accuracy for surface deformation. So the main objective of the system is for accurate detection of the slope stability by comparing and analyzing the synthetic aperture radar data of the same scene over different time intervals. So in order to get the deformation, level deformation, we need to have some stable pixels. We will not analyze all the pixels. So in order to get the permanent scatterers, there are various parameters to be considered. So one such important parameter is the coherence. So this coherent estimation plays a major role in masking out the very low quality pixels in the synthetic aperture radar image. So application of a threshold to such coherence map will give highly coherent pixels. So this indigenously developed GB-INSAR works on FMCW frequency modulated continuous wave system. It designs to operate on Ku band. So it adopts strip map mode synthetic aperture radar technique. So this is the GB-INSAR radar installed at Eastern OB dump Dudichua in order to monitor the Western OB dump. So this is the sensor which is placed on a linear rail. So here the sensor is moved in a linear manner in order to get the virtual array. So the DG set is here to provide the power supply and the weather station is to acquire the weather information. So this is the DGPS information of the sensor. And this is the optical image of Western OB dump which is taken from the Eastern OB dump. So this is the synthetic aperture radar image which we obtained with the GB-INSAR system. So here the highlighted lines which is highlighted in red color or the OB dump benches which we can see from the left side optical image. So here it is having a power level of minus 40 dBm nearly. So here we can see that the OB dump benches swath coverage is about 400 meter in range and 600 meter in azimuth. So first, what is coherence? So it is a measure of similarity between the SLC images of same scene acquired at different time intervals. So here, higher the coherence value corresponds to more stable pixels. So these are the results of the coherence experiment. So here we will have two images. We are having two images. One is called master, another one is called slave. So by comparing the two images, we are getting the coherence where we can see that the coherence value lies between 0 and 1, where 0 indicates that pixel is completely decorrelated and 1 indicates that pixel is fully correlated. Here the presence of vegetation shows it shows a full decorrelation. So here we can identify the presence of vegetation. And here this result shows the short-term and long-term analysis for slope stability. Here we have conducted an experiment for 2-minute interval, 1-day interval and 2-month interval, where we can see that the lower dump benches having more stability compared to the upper dump benches. And here we can see the number of coherent pixel points is more than 40,000. So the significance of the experiment is that, so here we have identified the height of each OB dump bench slopes, which ranges from 30 meter to 50 meter. considering all the obedient benches, and the road width is between 10 meter to 50 meter. Here, by identifying the vegetation area, here the height is about 35 meter and the width of the vegetation area was 320 meter. So here we have set a look angle of -10°. At this look angle, we can able to get very good coherence at the lower benches when compared to the upper benches. And here we have selected a threshold of 0.6 to choose the coherent pixels. So here, I'm concluding that here the high coherent pixel selection, it helps in generating the displacement map for slope stability analysis. So with 2 days time gap, we found that very high coherence is there in obedient benches which are covered by soils and rocks, and there is no coherence in the vegetation covered area. So coherence between 2-month data showed very good coherence at lower benches. So along with this coherence threshold, we can take amplitude dispersion SNR parameter also to get a stable PS points for slope stability analysis. So after identifying the stable PS points, we can use these PS points in order to find the deformation information. So these are all the references for this paper. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I think the presentation for particular session has been completed, and I'm very interactive with it has been, because we have been covering over the entire mining value chain, because since we have completed the presentations, now it's about time for the question and answers. I would request all the audience, so if you have a query, please hand over the mic to sir.
So my question is to the Volvo. So you see the kind of pressure about the emission we have in India is also there in Europe, in the developed countries. And Volvo has replaced all this size of trucks with electric trucks. And they have an equivalent model. Why that you guys are not introducing into India? So we have similar problem. So why? Because you see, end of the day, howsoever the engine may be efficient, end of the day it is burning the diesel oil, which is emitting carbon dioxide. And if we are talking about the net zero, it's not neutralization. It's not at all the emission. So that's the net zero concept in true sense. So what holds you introducing this truck to Indian market?
Sir, I would like to answer this. Sir, which application you are talking about? Are you referring mining or you are looking RTO, on-road application?
No, both. You can begin, if you have the on-the-road trucks, you can begin with the
so
just hang on, coal transport. But I am also aware that even in the mining trucks, the electric trucks up to 100 ton is running successfully. If you want the information, I can provide you.
Sir,
It's 100% electric trucks.
Definitely, sir. We can give you just perspective of battery-operated vehicles. See, if you want a range, then you have to put a high tonnage of battery, high load of battery. And if you put high load of battery, you cannot get the payloads. Or if you put smaller battery, then you'll not get the range. So this is the dilemma which is there everywhere. That is one. That is the reason in mining application, as on date, Volvo Trucks has not launched any vehicle. Yes, it is working in some light construction sites in types of heavy duty application. That is one. Second is for on-road application, what you mentioned that in Europe we have shifted. Yes, you are right. Slowly we are moving towards changing from IEC to electric vehicles and all that. However, it is not only we need to organize things, it is the infrastructure also has to be ready with that. In India, as on date, only electric charger facility is available only for the smaller cars or buses. If it is more than 300 kilowatt chargers, it's not available. As we speak, there are 2 electric trucks en route to India, and they are expected to arrive in the month of July. And still we are running around with Government of India to provide us infrastructure facilities, either between Bangalore to Chennai or Hyderabad to Nagpur. There is various places we are working on it. Mostly, July or August, you will see in some news that Volvo has launched electric trucks in India. That way on application, sir.
I, as a mining engineer, am not interested in seeing your trucks running between Bangalore to Chennai.
Okay.
There you may have the infrastructure issue. If I ask you, run those trucks carrying coal from Jayan to the railway siding, You have a just 5 km stretch. And infrastructure cannot be, you can put your charging stations. It's a 5 km range. And you said that the size of the battery, probably you are referring to the thinking about the aeroplane running on the electric motors. There, the size and the weight of the battery is a constraint.
Yeah.
When I say trucks, I'm talking the payload, which is the load it can carry. If I say 35-ton payload, I'm talking the payload, irrespective, not the gross vehicle weight. So the trucks have been designed like that, and already successfully running up to 100-ton trucks.
Sir.
And Volvo is running 2 models I can provide you right away. It's not in my head, but I have my information.
We are trying, we are working, because see, our market is heavy duty market, sir, all over the world. And definitely in India, we understand wherever we are 90% businesses through mining applications. So we also understand the requirement. And definitely we are also, it's on our pipeline, in our prospect, that tomorrow we bring. Right now, currently we are bringing one on-road trucks, and definitely we'll explore those trucks in coal transportation. That we have also identified the route in WCL. We'll start with that, and then we may get into the pit surface applications, sir. So this is it's on top of our mind. And second thing, we also that is non-fossil fuel. We have brought LNG truck as well, which we are working on it.
LNG is also a fuel, mind it. I am talking about the net zero, which doesn't emit any carbon dioxide.
Yeah,
so let us
understand,
not
sir.
get confused between LNG and CNG. End of the day, they're the fossil fuels. You burn them, carbon dioxide will be emitted.
So,
So my concept of net zero is different little.
Yes, sir.
We use energy which is not based on the fossil fuel. The moment it's fossil fuel, you are emitting carbon dioxide.
Yes.
So my point is that.
Yeah, understand, sir. But what I was explaining that we are taking various options to do away from petrol and diesel, especially, sir. So there are various projects working on, sir. Definitely we'll come back to you for net zero emissions, sir. Thank you so much.
We have a question from Professor Dev, sir.
Yeah, I have a question for the last speaker,
Kokila.
the rudder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's connected virtually. She
Oh,
can hear
she's
you, sir.
connected, fine.
Yeah.
The question is,
Yes, sir.
how much was the displacement?
Hello.
Yeah, at the end of the day, probably we will need that displacement vector, x, y, z. Have you measured that? This is the question. And also I have a last question to him, after his answer. Have you measured the displacement, x, y, z displacement?
Madam Samir, can you answer this question?
Kokila ma'am,
Yes,
can
sir.
you hear us? So the question
Yes,
to
sir.
you
Can
is
you
that-
hear me, sir?
Okay, perfect. The question to you is that have you measured the disbursement vector XYZ for this particular project that you are having at Dudichua?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, we have conducted an experiment by placing a corner reflector, which is a permanent scatterer there, and we have manually placed a we have manually displaced that corner reflector, and we have observed that displacement in our commercially developed graphical user interface. So we have kept a 1 meter corner reflector, and we have done displacement with 1 mm, and we have got 1 mm displacement. Actual displacement we kept at 1 mm, and we measured at 1 mm displacement. And we have done for 1 mm and 2 mm.
Okay, but in the actual field you have not measured.
In actual field, we are able to measure the displacement.
But
1
you have
minute.
not showed. That is the. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir, but this paper is about coherence measurement only. So we didn't show those results. We were sticked into that paper only. 1 minute, sir. I am thinking.
I
Thank you
have
for
one more
questions.
question to this pillar, IVAL. In Tata Steel, I think they will do with the paste filling. And there will be hardly any repiller then. So you are talking about sequence. So that can be done with you know, primary, secondary system. And so this is being worked out currently. This is my knowledge with the Tata Steel.
Okay, sir, many researches are going on in Simfer also. Genwell has also given you some data for this research on this because our SIM is 25 meter thick and there is this discussion is going on that how many lifts will be taken, 3 or 4. So I think, sir, what is the question? Actually, paste filling, which type of paste? Actually, if that paste flows, in that case, if you are going to deep direction, if your gallery is in deep direction, you can go in rise also, in deep direction, then that is okay, that your paste will remain in that gallery. But if your cutter head is going in rise direction, then in that case, how you will store with paste also. So another solution which we are thinking that can be given, that solution is a type of foam type material which settles within 5 to 10 seconds. जैसे आप एक झाग साबुन का डालते हैं उस तरह से अगर आप उसको स्प्रे कर दीजिए और वहीं क्विक सेटल हो जाए और वो उस तरह से नहीं गिरे, स्ट्रेंथ हो सकता है, उसमें रिसर्च में समय लगेगा, लेकिन दैट कैन डू वंडर्स सर, क्योंकि ये पेस्ट फिलिंग जो है अंडरग्राउंड के लिए ठीक है बाकी सिस्टम में, लेकिन हाईबल में कितना काम करेगा मुझे लगता है कि उसमें थोड़ी शंका है, तो इसलिए इसमें और ज़्यादा रिसर्च की ज़रूरत है. देखें आप लोग क्या सोल्यूशन देते हैं. विल टेक द सेम कोर्स विच will be given by this Simfer. China.
Chinese technology.
देखा जाए सर क्या होता है. Let's see.
Thank you so much for your question, sir.
Hello. I have a small question for Volvo. Sir, your tree planter is a very common equipment nowadays in Indian contest. Is it not?
It is not actually, because the tree transplantation that is being normally done is on the roads and public places. But our machine, which we have developed, is for the mining application on mining trucks. And the variety of equipment that is being deployed basically on highways, those sometimes they do not have sophisticated equipment. They are done manually or through some jugaad method by using JCB or maybe trucks pulling and other things. That is totally unscientific because lot of roots get cut and the survival is at stake. What we require to do is pull the entire root ball along with the mother soil. And the direction
Sir, your concept and this machine is very known to almost in the coal industry.
Yes.
But applicability of this machine is very poor in the industry. Why? Because of its exorbitant price?
No.
Or its work efficiency?
No, actually no. The price that this particular machine is costing is just peanuts for the government sector, that what you spend on equipments or what capex you spend the entire year. It is, I will bluntly say, willingness. Or maybe some sort of phobia. If my trees doesn't survive, I might be questioned by some external agencies.
So Volvo can they take this opportunity to encash? For example, if we ask you to do this for us, will you be coming forward with the machine and to do this job for us?
If the quantum of job is high, because actually Volvo is basically a producer of machine, not hiring basis. We might give it to some contractual people to do it, because it's really impossible for us to do the aftercare. We can always suggest what aftercare requires to be done. But survival of a transplanted tree, it really takes 2 to 3 months to ascertain the survival rate. That becomes an issue. But we can always do, if the quantum, if Coal India goes for a very quantum number of trees, why not? We can always think about a business model.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question is on use of chemicals for dust suppression. Has any field study been conducted to substantiate the fact that chemicals can suppress the dust in a better way?
Sir, presently there is no case study conducted in here. Just we have to do the lab experiment for 5 different types of the polymer, and I have to publish in the paper. But now we have to plan for the doing the case study, and same chemical used in the haul road in real time, and measure the result in there.
You have a strong customer base in NCL and PAN CL for Volvo trucks. I have seen your presentation on water sprinklers.
Yes, sir.
It is what we are searching for.
Yeah.
So what is your initiative? Just to understand how many tankers you have supplied in NCL?
Actually,
and who are the agency? And why I am not seeing all these tankers on the road?
yes, it has already been sold to Aditya Birla Group for BCML and RCML. And we are waiting for other subsidiaries to come forward. We have initiative, when we talk about initiative, sir, we have gone to all the subsidiaries to demonstrate this machine for almost a month, each subsidiary. Even in NCL we had given for a month to whatever test result I was talking about, that 9 liters or 11 liters per hour, we have all tested and got it certified from you. Now, after our demonstration and experiments, we are open to open marketing of this particular product.
Whom need to be convinced? Is it NCL or is it the outsourcing contractors?
First comes NCL directly. Sir, the reason behind it is NCL, if it being a government sector, if it invests this particular money, to see whether it is worth it, and then you can enforce it to all our MDOs. They will be forced to buy it.
We have contractual obligation with the contractor.
Yes, yes.
Rupees per cubic meter and so many kilometers. That sort of commercial arrangement is made with the outsourcing contractor. Nothing more, nothing less. So what is your headway to tackle this issue? So the SPM level while transporting mineral from the starting point to finishing point is reduced. I think your initiative is rather more important. You are selling so many trucks to them. But how many water sprinkler have you sold in NCL? That is not within my knowledge so far.
Yes, in NCL, actually, it is a fact, because in the morning, sir, you had been talking about the difficulties and challenges. The contractors feel that water sprinkling is a cost. It is not a very useful or desirable activity, and it is the expenditure, which is not. So this particular aspect, if it is also written in the CMC contracts, that 28 KL mist type with water jets is specified in the tenders even in contractual basis, that can solve the problem.
That is not the reality, I'll tell you. A time will come when our outsourcing contract will be minus the obligation of contractor to suppress dust on the road. Probably that obligation NCL has to own. So the moment you go for owning these services by ourselves, you have to write a document. And the document should be in a manner that limited contractors qualify for it. Otherwise, again, the contract will be futile.
I agree to you, sir.
So you have to help NCL if you want that your truck does the right job, and we have an obligation to society to maintain environment in this coal field, then probably the time has come, and let's work together. You think over it and let us meet sometime and discuss.
Right, sure. We'll do that, sir.
Thank you so much for your question, sir. And please. We are having this last question before the closure of this session.
Sir, one more question, sir, please. सर हमेशा हम लोग बात करते हैं कोल्ड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की और साथ में डस्ट सेपरेशन की बात करते हैं। वॉल्वो इतनी बड़ी कंपनी है, हमेशा आप लोग रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट में काम करते रहते हैं। कोई ऐसा तरीका नहीं हो सकता है कि कोल बॉडी के साथ में एक वाटर चैम्बर आप बनाएं और कोल्ड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के साथ वो स्प्रेइंग करता जाए? क्योंकि हमेशा हम लोग देखते हैं कोल्ड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन पर तो पूरा जोर रहता है, एनवायरमेंटल ऑब्लिगेशन रहता है, बट वाटर स्प्रिंकलिंग पीछे से छूट जाता है। अगर ये दोनों एक्टिविटी साथ साथ चल सके, अगर ट्रक में हम लोग कुछ ऐसा रिसर्च कर सकें तो कोल के साथ साथ स्प्रिंकलिंग रोड में करते जाए, वो काम बन जाएगा। क्या ऐसा संभव है? आप लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं?
Sir, nothing is impossible, but one thing, our CMVR rules on the road is very, very strict, and you are aware of that. First of all, our first two stages we have solved the problem. One is coal truck with covers, which Coal India has been suffering for a long time. It has been long time Coal India wanted to implement it, but failed. That is one. If we do it in a proper fashion, the covering in a scientific way, it will solve half of the problem. And the second problem which lies is mist-type water sprinkler, which 28 KL, which is on and off. So if we put these two separately, and one thing can follow the other, it will reduce your problem to a very, very great extent.
नहीं, हमारा ये कहना है सर कि हम लोग तो कोल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में इंटरेस्टेड हैं, आप अपना ट्रक बेचने में इंटरेस्टेड हैं। अगर कोल इंडिया अपने टेंडर में ये बोले कि हमें ऐसा ट्रक चाहिए जो वाटर स्प्रिंकलिंग भी साथ साथ करे, तो क्या ये संभव नहीं है?
Sir, both are different application. We cannot be mixed because, see, in coal truck we need to provide a rear tailgate. You know, in the same application we cannot put the mist kind of operations there. So for that's the reason we have made two separate vehicles. One is for coal transport and one for water sprinkler. And see, we have the product. Only thing is, you and me sit down and we need to see that how both the products are working for you. Right now, we both are not working, so that's the reason it's not happening. We need to say the way what sir asked me in net geo application. As on date, we have BS6, that is the latest compliant vehicle, which still if you go out in the mind, people are using Bharat Stage 2 vehicles, because in project we have not mentioned what is the age of the vehicle you need to put. If you put age less than 5 years, definitely people will go for latest pollution norm vehicle. So this is you, me need to talk, and definitely there will be a solution, sir.
One is payload capacity of the coal will come down in order to spray water. So do you want to spend your diesel to take also water which is non-productive? Definitely you have to talk about production, evacuation of coal first, and then the water sprinkling, which is also important, that can follow.
No,
but
both
yes,
things can go together. We are interested in coal transportation only, and we want to leave environmental issues for other persons to see. If coal transportation has to happen, it has to be with the water sprinkling.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I think you can have discussion below the
Okay,
stage.
thank you.
we are available, we can always discuss. Definitely any solution which you look can be made possible. We have to think about it.
So thank you so much. Thank you for your question and answer. Now I would request our chairman for the session to conclude the session.
Thank you. This was a very nice first technical session in which 5 relevant and very informative papers were presented by authors from academia, industry, and our business partners. The spectrum of topics ranged from slope stability to technological developments and sustainability. The first author focused on failure identification of internal dump slopes through 3D modeling, data collection and its stability analysis to derive the failure criteria of slopes. The second author mainly focused on the applicability of high wall technology in thick and combined seams of BCCL. It touched upon the sensor guided entry of cutting heads to maintain the gallery alignment, and he also talked about the safety advantages of this technology. The author also discussed about how thick seams can be extracted more productively through optimizing various designs, that is different width of gallery, web pillars, etc., and how it affects the factor of safety and extraction percentage. Third author from Volvo, they touched upon the coal logistics solutions and they talked about the fuel efficient, environmental friendly and cost effective solutions of coal transportation. They also touched upon the various safety features provided in their trucks in different models and how safety can be improved by improving the operational efficiency and by training. The author also gave details of their water sprinkling machine and the truck transplanter to address the environmental issues. The next author talked about the sources of dust generation in open cast mines by using a polymer. It was a lab study, laboratory-based study, and under chemical method, he focused on use of a polymer which was used in a lab condition, and he compared the advantages of this polymer when it was used as a dust suppressant compared to water. The fifth author joined through VC, and she presented the results of slope stability on western dump of Dudhichua site using indigenously developed GB-INSAR data. The author concluded the study by study to identify the optimum design of dumps for better slope stability. So I think that sums up the session. The papers were nice, and I thank you
so much,
everyone.
sir. And I think we will all agree that ICOMS is the platform where we not only discuss the strategy but also discuss the implementation. So with this, we are here to conclude the session, and I would request our rapporteur and chairman of the session to facilitate the authors who have presented their paper. First, I would request Kapoor Chand Jakson from IIT ISM Dhanbad to get the facilitation from rapporteur sir. I would request Shri Chitranjan Kumar sir, BCCL, to come and connect his comments. Now I would request Professor Vivesh Kumar